Hi everyone, Dave Williams here and welcome to the Weekly Wisdom. So I hope I'm finding you well and you've been having a great week so far. So what we're going to be talking about today is in effect the 5 C's. Okay? So the 5 C's, well the 4 C's really that are going to give you the 5th C. Okay? So it's 4 C's that are going to give you the 5th, and the 5th is more confidence. Alright? So the first thing we're going to be talking about, okay, is communication. Because when you think about it, communication is so important. Well, it's something that you're doing all the time, isn't it? But most people, to be fair, what they do, they focus on communicating with other people. Okay, whether that's face to face, whether it's, over the phone, that thing that you meant to use those for, but it's like that these days, isn't it? Email or whatever. That's what they tend to focus on. But the reality is the main communication that you're in charge of is how you talk to yourself. See, with confidence, it's so easy to build up, but it's also so easy to destroy. So with your confidence, make sure that you're reminding yourself how good that you really are. And stacking stuff that reminds yourself on the things that you've achieved, because there's so many people that do themselves a disservice, if you will, because they talk themselves out of achieving so many different things. Instead of reminding themselves of how good that they have been and how much they have achieved in their life. Because you, like I, have achieved some phenomenal things in our lives. So it's so important how we communicate with ourselves. So that is the first C, communication. And then obviously we move on to the second C. See, the second C, this one you may well think, okay, where does that come from? You need a heart of a lion. And if you think back to the Wizard of Oz, what was it the lion was actually looking for? It was courage, wasn't it? And that's what you also need when it comes to confidence. Quite frequently, you need the courage to move forward, to take action. But again, so many people, because they're actually talking to themselves as well, all of a sudden they seem to lose that particular courage. And when they feel they haven't got the courage, that's when they start talking to themselves again and reminding themselves that they're not going to be any good at doing it. Whoa! Let's think about it, okay? Well, I appreciate a good chunk of people these days. Virtually everything that they do involves being sat down, normally behind a steering wheel. But if you think about it, let's say you just removed the car and you had to walk places. Would you think twice about crossing a road after checking and looking both ways first, obviously? No, of course you wouldn't. So why is that? Well, the reality is because you've done it so frequently over the years. But it's not just that, you see. See, you've achieved phenomenal things over the years. So just remind yourselves of some of the things that you have achieved. It may well be going for a new job. It may well be going out with someone for the first time. It might be getting married. It might be deciding to have a family. These particular examples that I've just shared there, they all take courage to follow through. And when you think about it, now obviously I don't know where you are in life. Let's just say that you are a parent, okay? Or if you're not a parent, then I'm sure you've been around little ones, and I mean babies, and sort of as they grow up, etc. It's amazing, isn't it, really? With babies, they start to crawl and then they start to stand up and try and walk and everything. And being perfectly honest, yes, just make sure no one's watching. It can be quite funny watching them stand up and then plop down again, can't it? But if you're a parent, you wouldn't turn around and say to the baby, would you? Right, you've got 3 more attempts, and if you don't stand and walk this time, that's it. I'm never letting you walk again. You don't do that, do you? Well, I hope you don't anyway. And that's the reason why virtually everyone on the planet walks these days. But when it comes to adulthood, and it comes to a little bit of confidence, what do? We try something once. If it doesn't work, what do we normally do? Hey, was anyone watching? No, I've got away with it, you know? Come on, get real. You've achieved so many different things. You know, you weren't, when you were first born, you couldn't walk. You had to learn that. You tried literally one step at a time. You fell, you got up again, you went. So you created courage. And you've generated courage with so many things that you've achieved in life already. So draw on that courage. Draw on the courage that you've used before now in different circumstances, quite possibly. But guess what? If you've used it once, it's not exhausted. You can use it again. So draw on that courage, because that is the second C. Okay, so we've spoken so far about talking to ourselves in the right way, all right? Then we've actually just spoken about the courage to go and do it. So we're down to the third C now. And the third C is commitment. Yeah, and it may well sound a bit surreal. So, yeah, what are you doing? You know, commitment. Of course I'm committed to that. Really? See, well, what happens with so many people, they say that they're committed to something, and then the self-talk and the lack of courage come flooding through, and then the commitment is lacking, shall we say. See, the thing is, when you know what you're going for, then you've spoken, you've got yourself in the right frame of mind because you're talking to yourself, you've drawn on your courage to go and do it, then committing to it, that's key. And, you know, it sounds like, yeah, well, you're committing to something, that sounds like a long goal. And yeah, it may well be. It depends on what you're looking for your confidence with. But realistically, it's committing to anything that you want to achieve. Now think about it. If you've made a cup of tea or coffee or whatever this morning, and let's just say you had to put the kettle on. Okay, you didn't really think about it, did you? I'm sure. You just did it automatically, didn't you? Yeah, because that's what most people do, because that's that repetition of doing that particular action so many times. And that's the thing. Okay, you committed to it because you didn't think about it. It was an automated action. And that's what happens when you follow this particular process. Communication, courage, and commitment. You're committing to something. And if you do it frequently enough, yeah, and that's a key. If you do it frequently enough, you're going to create consistency. Okay, and using the example that I mentioned there about making a drink. You've done it that frequently, you've done it consistently, you don't really need to give it too much thought. Because it becomes automated. And that's the thing for so many people. These people that just appear confident with absolutely everything. The reality is with that type of person, it's just the fact they know with absolute certainty that they're going to be able to do it anyway. And what's different between that person and yourself, possibly? Their journey has been different. Obviously, because all of our journeys are different. It's just belief. There's belief and certainty is that they're going to be able to achieve something. And in essence, that's what confidence is, just belief in ourselves. So if you use all of those four, oops, bit of a struggle to fit that one in. Okay, then you're going to be confident with whatever you set your mind to. Because the beauty of it is, confidence is one of those things that you've got inside you in absolute abundance. You just need to press the right buttons to trigger it every time that you need it. Okay? So I hope you've actually got value from this week's wisdom. So by all means, actually share it out. Click on the link below and actually share it with people that you feel that that may well be advantageous to. And feel free to actually comment on the links below here. And I'll look at every particular comment and I'll look to reply to each individual comment as well. And if you want more strategies when it comes to increasing your confidence, then go to www.davewilliamscoaching.com and you'll see at the top of the page there, it's got something there called resources. Yeah, so it's a separate page on resources. And if you click on that, it'll open up a few different things in there. But what you can get is my free 16 proven strategies to improve confidence. Just click on that. It's a free ebook and it's got loads of information in there. So feel free to actually take advantage of that. But in the meantime, until we catch up again, keep on being special and have a fantastic week. See you soon. Bye now.